Okay, mic check. You should be able to hear and see. Good morning, Rick. My man, Rick. Good morning, good morning. Hold on, give me a second here. Let me get this oriented. Be about a minute here. We'll get started. TradePhantoms.com. Mr. Blue, hold on. All right, cool. All right, I'm here. Let me give it a minute. Let people scramble in. We'll kick this off. We just had unemployment claims. I'm going to talk to y'all about a couple things going on for the rest of the week. Today being Thursday, August 22nd, 2024. Log into my account, one of my accounts here on the side. So I'm 100% good to go. Okay, let's hit it. All right, TradePhantoms.com. Mr. Blue, I'm your guide, your host for about an hour, give or take. I'm gonna go through a couple things, mainly some futures. I'll do some S&P futures and NASDAQ futures. We'll take a stroll through oil futures and gold futures, and then I'll give you some pre-market prep, or some of the things that we do during pre-market prep before the market opens. And I'm going to mainly go over the big FANG stocks, Magnificent Seven, as I know those options are really liquid, so it's going to be more options and futures based. TradePhantoms.com. Well, I already said the date, August 22nd, which is Thursday of 2024. Great. Moving on. A couple things to note for today and or the rest of the week. Today being Thursday, so we passed halfway through the week. Long story short here, we just had unemployment claims come out. Okay, I have to refresh this. Right, we can sit here and pinch the numbers and all that. You know, Mr. Green does a really good job at going over the fundamentals and things like that. All right, I'm not going to go too deep and heavy into this right now, but they came in as expected. Okay, and most importantly, regarding this is anytime that you have a big news announcement, and you know, unemployment claims is a major one. It's always a matter of how the markets are going to respond. Okay, so sometimes the good news comes out, markets drop. Sometimes bad news comes out, but markets rise. So it's always going to be how the market's reacted to it, okay? On a fundamental basis, yes, it may take some time to kind of play out, okay? But you can have a reaction for the day or two regarding the news. So we'll talk about that. All right, I'm going to go over futures, all right, with the pre-market quote. Also note too, at 9:45 a.m. Eastern, today, we do have another piece of data coming out, flash manufacturing PPI. Okay, so that's going to be 15 minutes after the open, while the markets are putting in its opening day's range. So just have that on your radar, okay? And this is going to be the time where we kind of where I exit YouTube, but usually I don't do that in the live trade rooms that we have at Phantoms.com. Okay, but I'll see if I can hang out for a little bit after the timer goes off to see how we react and respond off of that news. Okay, and furthermore, last but not least, we have Jackson Hole kicking off today. So that's a big one there. Their meeting tomorrow as well is where they really start to get into the details. And we do have Jay Powell, the Fed chair for the U.S., having a couple of words tomorrow on Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern. So I'll be with you, Phantoms, in the trade room tomorrow morning. So I'm actually hoping that we get some volatility, okay, which segues me into what I was going to say next. For the past, I'd say Monday was a fairly decent day this week. Today being Thursday, right, the beginning of Thursday here. Monday was a fairly decent day. Had a nice little steady kind of trend. However, Tuesday and Wednesday, yesterday being Wednesday, were very choppy, very patchy after options expiration. So it's just kind of like a hurry up and wait type and see, where we have a big rally coming up into off the correction, off the big drop that we had. We're kind of rallying up. And in the Qs specifically, in the Q specifically, we're kind of getting into a level of supply. So the bulls, okay, are kind of getting matched up with the bears here, but we're in a positive GEX environment, low VIX environment, so we could potentially see a potential pop out of here, okay? But just be, as always, be diligent because we could have a correctional move down here too before that. So what the point that I'm trying to make is Monday was a decent little trend day, continuation rally up, and then the past 2 days, being Tuesday and Wednesday, were very choppy, very rangy. So I kind of stepped on the brake and eased off more directional plays for intraday and for day trading, and I went to more of the sell side of options, selling SPX credit options for the most part for the latter part of the past 2 days. Okay, so I will make a note of that this morning as well. Be very patient as well, but let me dive right in. So I just wanted to make sure that y'all have that kind of on your radar. And as I mentioned, next tomorrow we'll be together trading. For the day for the Phantoms. Okay, for you new folks in here, just top-down approach. Okay, Phantoms is a supply-demand foundation from a multiple time frame analysis. What's called a top-down approach. So we always want to start with the higher time frames. And the highest time frame is going to be the monthly time frame. I kind of color code everything here. I'm not going to go through every single line item here. All right, this is a checklist that Phantoms members can download to kind of kickstart their trade plan, if you will, if they need to. Okay, I kind of color code things: monthly, weekly, daily, orange, yellow, blue. Okay, so just a couple of notes there to kind of kick off where you are in the bigger location and structure of markets. Candlesticks, location being most important, okay? Bullish candlesticks, bearish candlesticks, great, okay? And then we have the liquidity map, which is the order of execution, which helps people and traders stay on the right side of the market. All right, cut losers, ride winners, okay? So that's a document there that we reference all the time, and it's kind of a nice little base foundation for what we do. I'm gonna go over futures, as promised. Okay, even though we start out with the monthly, weekly, daily, okay, I just have the daily time frame of the S&P futures on the left, NASDAQ upper right, Dow Jones lower left, Russell 2000 bottom right. All right, getting straight to the point here, right? I'm not gonna go too deep into this, but we had a nice move up here, we had a nice little correction here. Okay, great. I've been talking about that for quite some time now. Okay, lower, low, low, high, and you can see this beautiful, obviously V bottom got put in. Okay, and then we just been grinding, fading, higher, up. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 days down, and it took a couple days up. So elevator down, right, very quickly, stair step up. So this is great here. Okay, markets are somewhat back aligned, back up, kind of VIX normalization a bit for now. Okay, for now. There was a big order block coming in 2 days ago for 54 SPY puts, but I got to investigate that a little bit more. I think that came in either yesterday or the day before. I have to investigate that, so I shouldn't even have brought that up because I got to get my facts straight more. But I study options liquidity. Anyways, the point that I'm trying to make to keep it more simple here is we did just have news. I'm on a daily time frame of the S&P, and yesterday, it was very choppy, but we did put in a decent little close on it. In all fairness, okay. If I look at the yesterday's candle, okay, yesterday's high, yesterday's low, we did kind of close fairly decent. Okay, we have a little small, real red bar. We've had like several 1, 2, 3, 4, almost like 12 days up. Okay, so I was seeing if we can get a little bit of a steeper correction, but markets are just not pulling back right now, okay, as much. Okay, so just be careful with that because if it does snap, we could snap. Okay, so just always watch out for a volatility spike. Okay, but for right now, it seems like it's kind of calm sailing, at least for right now. Okay, I have the next level here pinned, and we can go deeper into this level here. I mean, S&P futures and SPY and SPX are almost at all-time highs. Okay, so even though we had that massive drop, we're very close to all-time highs right now. So just keep a note of that. So it's always tricky to short all-time highs. Okay, but this is the level here that's up here. So I have that kind of kicked off and started at, and I know it's tough to see. You'll see it better in the background of the darker background, 5680. Okay, and the all-time high right now in S&P futures, 5721. Okay, so just be careful with this level here because it could easily get taken out. all right? But we could use this as if you're long to sell to exit some, and then there might be some sell short to enters here, all right? But that's going to be a bit of an aggressive play in the event that they spike a quick new all-time high in futures, okay? And that would be exit distribution, okay? Exit distribution right now. I don't want to be buying all-time highs, okay? So there could be a correctional move pending, okay? But I'll keep it short and sweet for right there right now. All right, we'll drill down to the smaller time frames in a moment to refine some entries. Okay, I got the S&P. That was the S&P. This is NASDAQ, so I switched over to the NASDAQ futures. Okay, I can almost say the same thing here for the most part. Okay, big drop down. Okay, came into some monthlies. Okay, we talked a little bit about that even on YouTube for free. Okay, and then we have this grind move up. All right, now we are into this level here, the 20,000. So far the overnight high right now is 19,994. Okay, basically 6 points below 20,000. Okay. Now, why is that important? Well, 20,000 is a second supply level on the daily time frame here. Okay, so we have impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse. We already kind of faded through and broke this first level here, which was pretty obvious, and I mentioned that to you folks in here. Okay, and then now we're coming up to the 20,000 handle, and we haven't really cleared this level yet. Okay, so S&Ps are kind of relatively, if you're comparing it to the NASDAQ, S&Ps are somewhat already up here. All right, closer to the all-time highs, where NASDAQ is kind of a little bit of a lagger versus the S&Ps, which is usually not the case because tech has been dominating, okay, for the past, I'd say about 2 years. Okay, so it kind of calmed down just a little bit. All right, but still very good. Still, you have to put some respect on technology sector. Okay, key takeaway here. Okay, even if we get up to 20,000 or 20,100, okay, I'd make a note of this, and I'll make a note on the darker background in a moment. We could potentially what's called grab some liquidity up here. Okay, so again, like I said, we're up. All right, we're in a positive GEX environment. Okay, not a lot of kind of calm, kind of quiet for now. All right, but we could if we have a spike rally up here, okay, 20,000 and 20,100. I definitely do not want to be buying a higher high, okay, for the week and into this daily supply. Up over here, right? Now, daily supply is a lot smaller than weekly and monthly supply, all right, but we have to put some kind of respect on this level, at least at a minimum here. All right, so I'll discuss that a little bit here when I refine down to the smaller time frames, all right, which I'm going to do right now. And I'm going to save some time here with the Dow Jones and Russell 2000. Russell 2000, I like me some small caps here and there, but it's been tough to trade for the past year and a half. Okay, so just be careful with that. They like rate cuts, but it's just been haven't really made any headway. All right, but there is some positions being built up in IWM via options. So, but so far it hasn't panned out. So that might take some time. And Dow Jones, it's only 30 stocks, so I really don't trade much of the Dow Jones. All right, I'm gonna switch over into the monthly, weekly, daily. Okay, so I got monthly here on the left. Let me switch this over to S&P futures. All right, monthly on the left, weekly here in the middle, daily on the right. So monthly, weekly, daily, this is the Broker Think or Swim. If any of you are on the free live stream and wondering, this is Think or Swim, trade options and stock here, mainly options, okay? So monthly, weekly, daily, top-down approach, as we mentioned, okay? As mentioned, that's super, super, super important, okay? And then I'm gonna drill down to the 60-minute time frame, upper left here, 30-minute bottom left, 5-minute here, 2-minute here. So at Phantoms, we have multiple time frame analysis, and there's always gonna be a high, a middle, which is here, the 30 and the 60, and then a low, 5 and the 2. All right, and your sequence could be a bit different. You can use the 4-hour as your middle. You can use the 30-minute as your middle. It's all good. Just keep that same foundation: high, middle, low time frame. High time frame, we're looking for location and where we are on the range curve. And middle time frame is going to be trend, and then the small time frame is going to be the execution refinement, refining zones and executing off those zones based off itemized 1 and 2, high time frame and middle time frame. That being said, I'm on S&P futures, 1 hour time frame here. All right, one of the first things that we want to do is map out what's called the Globex high, Globex low, which is a fancy word for overnight session in Think or Swim. They kind of grade that space out for us here. So far S&Ps, just put in an overnight high right here. So S&P futures are up, what, 0.24%, right? Nothing dramatic, okay, but slightly higher. All right, and we just put in that Globex high right here. That could change over the next, 30 minutes, give or take, if we do spike a new high. Okay, just have to update that line. Okay, and we have Globex low parked right here, right now, so far at 56.31. Okay, and there's going to be a specific setup called a Globex trap where obviously we want to be trading with trend, which is bullish. Okay, and if we break Globex low and break low, and we and people who are looking maybe sell short because we broke a new low and markets making a new low from the overnight low. All right, selling short, selling short, selling short, and then they're selling short right into a institutional level of demand. Okay, in the context of an uptrend, that's what we can do. It's called a bear trap. So you're trapping short sellers and bear people who are getting bearish into a level of demand. All right, trading short in the context of an uptrend. It's called a trap. Okay. Good news, bad news is this. All right, the bad news is I can't explain that as much in detail. It's not the time and space. Okay, we do talk a lot in detail when we do have some more time. The good news is the work has already kind of panned out for us because this market really hasn't been moving a lot this week, right? So I still have this 5,600. Now I know this is a red line, okay, but it was once supply and it broke and it left an IBI. So if I look at current price down here below Globex, where current price is here, below Globex low, right here, I have a level here, I have a level here, but this is all kind of weird, choppy gunk here. Okay, so we're going to be very careful. Now, it's been respecting for the past day or two, right? But if we get a volatility injection, okay, these levels could get wiped out on a bigger flush. Okay, so it's not always about taking a lot of trades. It's about taking quality trades. So that entails being patient and disciplined and waiting for the right time and the right zones and the right level to attack. Okay. Now, did we take some play off this yesterday? Yeah, we did. Okay, we were working off this yesterday. I was using this drop down, okay, down in here earlier yesterday to sell some credit. Okay, but that's a different story. All right, that's a different story right now. Can't get into that. Key takeaway for right now, keeping it simple. I have this 5,600 pinned, okay, as a Globex trap. We also have a 5,580, okay, that I did some diligence yesterday for the team at Phantoms, and this level, right, single-handedly alone does not look very great and qualified. However, using option and futures, S&P futures, the price 5580. However, in options, there's a major what's called SPY, and SPX, okay, put wall here. Okay, so based on gamma and based on all options open interest, okay, this 5580 in futures, okay, is got a bit more valid, if you will, because just for the eye right here, just for the sake of your eyesight, doesn't look too great, okay, if you're qualifying the level, and you learn about that when you go through the program at Phantoms, okay, but it got better because of options. So at Phantoms, we talk a lot about multiple asset classes, right? And one of the things that I see a lot of people do, as I did when I first learned trading, started trading, 15, 16 years ago, is I only wanted to be a Forex trader. I only wanted to be a Forex trader. If I could just make, a lot of money trading Forex, I don't need nothing else, right? But one of the things that you realize is all these markets are connected, right? All these markets are connected: stocks, bonds, futures, Forex, options. Okay, we can even add crypto into that mix these days now, right? So the point that I'm trying to make is futures. Okay, if you trade futures, well, maybe you don't want to trade options yet or don't understand options, but if you start to learn other asset class, options is going to help you trading with your futures trading. Okay, options has made me a better Forex trader, a better futures trader, because it allows you to analyze the market from a multiple dimension, uh, 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 process, right? So anyways, the point that I'm trying to make is this 5580, okay, is a major put wall in SPY and SPX. So therefore, if you're trading futures, this is going to be a nice little level for what's called a Globex trap as well, okay? However, first we have to touch this 5600 because there's a decent little basing impulse right here, okay? For supply, as mentioned, be careful. We have 5680. Okay, for you Phantoms, I'm going to save a little time here, but for you Phantoms, if you know, if you drill into this daily supply level near the all-time highs, you can go in and refine some supply levels inside of this because it's a fairly wide zone. Okay, but like I said, if we're getting up to that point, I would like to be long and exiting from longs first and foremost before I'm even thinking about taking a potential short. Okay, does that make sense? All right, so I would love this market to pull back a little bit more deeper, but so far we haven't got it. But always be diligent because when you think it's not going to happen, then the market goes boom. All right, it happens. All right, so I'm going to move on to NASDAQ futures. I'm going to do this fairly quickly because it's going to be extremely similar to the S&Ps. Okay, so I got monthly, weekly, daily as always. Okay, monthly time frame, beautiful level with the rising 20 PM moving average. All right, came dead smack into that monthly level. Okay, with that whole Japan fiasco. Okay, faded back up, getting straight to the point here. Globex high, Globex low is what? Here for the high, here for the low. All right. And again, these levels are kind of mapped out. This is all kind of gunk here. All right. For you options traders, this might not be the best directional play, but for you options traders, you can sell credit spreads in the event that we get down to this area here to leg in. A decent little IBI, fresh little demand zone, prime level right here is still marked off. I have 19,655, 19,655, 19,655. All right. And then below that, I have 19,350, 19,300. These are the decent little IBIs right here. Okay. All right. And again, this is kind of gunk here. This is kind of gunk here. Not the greatest levels in the world here. So, you know, as I mentioned with S&Ps, you know, you want to go for quality, okay, quality over quantity, right? So it's not about a lot of zones, it's about the correct zones, okay? All right, and there's a checklist and a process to identify which one is the correct one, okay? That's beyond the scope for this 1 hour sesh here. Okay, so again, 19,655, and then the fresher ones down here too, 19,350, 19,300, okay? For supply, now we do have, as mentioned, that 20,000 handle, okay, that 20,000 handle. So if you refine in there, okay, and then also we have that 20,100 up here as well. So there could be a bit of a liquidity sweep up here. So you might want to make a note of that. If we get above today, 20,100, there could be a bit of what's called a liquidity sweep up here. Okay, so wouldn't want anybody here, okay, to be buying at a high into supply on a new high on the smaller time frames, okay? So don't do that, okay? Well, I would suggest, my humble suggestion, okay, would be not to do that, because then you'd be buying a high, okay? And we want to, at first I'd want to be, if we are rallying, be long and selling the exit, and there could be a liquidity sweep to kind of trap people who up here, oh, NASDAQ broke 2,000, look at it's trading 20,000, 20,000, now it's breaking, it's trading 20,100, right? Oh, look at it, it just snapped that supply. All right, so there's something called a fakey breaky, okay, where it could get people to get suckered in buying highs equal to new, or higher highs into the daily, and then that's where they're going to mean revert it on you, okay? Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. I go into a little bit more detail, of course, when I have more time and space to do so, okay? But I'll keep that there in fairly simple for right now. All right, just know that NASDAQ is actually in a daily supply level, so just be a little careful trading the NASDAQ futures and or QQQs, okay, which is the ETF for NASDAQ. All right, moving on here, looking at the time, making sure I have a steady flow. Oil. Okay, oil's been, I'm gonna keep this short and sweet here. Okay, I got monthly on the left, weekly here in the middle, daily on the right? So key takeaway for oil is very rangy for the past couple of years. Okay, we're starting to absorb this little low range here. And as a color code, I have orange for my monthlies and I have yellow for my weeklies, right? So this chart's kind of messy, but in all fairness, oil's kind of messy, right? It's kind of messy right now. It's very wicky, it's very rangy, right? It's going up, it's going down, it's going up, it's going down from range. Okay, so it is kind of a messy market right now. However, I'll say this, we are starting to crack a little bit lower low down in here, all right, kind of absorb this demand. But I mentioned to the group yesterday that we have a range inside of a range. So I have monthly range here, low range, and then I have weekly range here, okay, high and low. All right, be careful with trading in the middle, diddling in the middle. The point that I'm trying to make here to keep it short and sweet is that, we could, if we start to snap this little weekly level, which is not the greatest level in the world too, a lot of time there, all right, kind of choppy, messy, all right, kind of a messy, right, kind of like spaghetti sauce all over the wall here, right? But we could go lower. Okay, we could go lower, and this would be lower into the monthly range. So just be careful. Don't get trapped thinking that oil is going to fall to hell. Okay, because we have a move down. And as we get lower into these monthly ranges down in here, all right, that is going to be the other side of the totem pole, if you will, the other side of the end zone. Okay, football field, basketball net, soccer net. Makes sense, all right? So don't get trapped into selling short oil on new lows down into this monthly low range. Okay, so maybe on the weekend I'll kind of spend some time and refine a bit more levels down in here. Okay, but just think of it as right now, to keep it short and sweet. If you get below 70, okay, a lot of people will say, oh no, oil cracked 70, and it's coming right down into the low monthly range. Okay, and so don't get suckered into selling short down into there would be my humble suggestion. Okay, Right now, momentum is low. The only challenge with this is that we are low range on it. Okay, we are low range on it. So, I'm on the 60-minute time frame right now. All right, we do have lower, low, low, high, lower, low, low, high, lower, low, low, high, in all fairness. Okay, but the only challenge with that, okay, is that we are at, that lower range. And especially if we get down to the monthlies, then that would be I'd be very careful with selling short, even rallies up into intermediate or smaller time frame supply if we get down to the monthlies. Okay, right now we still do have this momentum lower. Okay, so you could stick your neck out a little bit here, and as markets rallying up into supply, sell short into it. All right, but the issue with that right now too, just to be very clear, is that there's not a lot of high quality supply here. So oil's a little messy here. So be very, very diligent if you're trading oil. Okay. Let me see. So gold, and I love oil, but it's been a little. You gotta know how to trade range. Monthly, weekly, daily on oil, gold. Macro bull, gold made all-time highs. Okay. So I gotta clean this chart up here, but monthly, weekly, daily. All right, we're pulling back. I did have a level right down in here, which I'm gonna get to in a moment. We have the rising 20 PM moving average here on the daily. Okay. Good job, Joe. My man. J.O. Globex high, Globex low. I'm not sure if anybody took this. This is a Globex low, but hold on for a second. I had this level pinned out right here. Wasn't the highest quality in the world, 25.30. Okay, and as you can see yesterday, we dipped right in there. Okay, and then bounced right out. Okay, so demand supply. All right, demand supply. That wasn't even a great level here. All right, popped out. Now this level did not pop out and to make a new all-time high in gold. Okay, so we might want to come lower. So you see down here, I have a blue level. All right, blue in the color code is what? Daily. Okay, so that blue level down here, I'm on a 60-minute time frame of gold futures, or 1 hour time frame. Okay, but this blue level is going to let me know that we have demand, and it's demand on the 60, but that is going to be confluenced with also the daily demand level. Okay, so that's one of the things that you learn. Okay, with supply demand is you don't just start from a small time frame. Okay, you start from the higher time frames first, and when you have a say weekly or a daily demand zone, and then you drill down and refine down to the smaller time frames or the intermediate time frame, 6-minute being the middle intermediate time frame. We have a demand zone here. Yes, we have a demand zone here, but which one is better? This one is going to be better down here because this is going to be more associated with daily demand as well. Okay, so gold might want to pull back deeper to pick up some daily demand lower. Does that make sense? Okay, so this is a 60-minute level refined, but this is also daily demand down here in that kind of blue box area. Okay, location, right? All right, it's a rule number 1 in real estate, but it's also a major rule in trading and investing as well. Location. There's a lot of houses for sale, right? There's an analogy. A lot of houses, maybe you're in the market for a house, right? A home, to buy a home. There's a lot of houses for sale, but you're not looking at every single one. Typically, you got kind of a location, a neighborhood that you have in mind for certain reasons. Okay, whatever those reasons are, everybody's going to be different. Okay, kids, good school district, etc. Right? All right, maybe you're a loner, maybe you're an introvert. You just want to get a nice house somewhere quiet in the woods away from society. And that's all good too. All right, I dig that. All right, makes sense? All right, location. So long story short, 2,500 is going to be the better location area of demand for some gold futures. Okay, that level already got tested. Take a nice little bounce out of here. So this wasn't great as well to begin with. Okay, this level, because it was already a retest. Right, this demand level that we had panned out at 25.30, okay, which took a nice bounce. Okay, this wasn't even fresh to begin with or prime, because this level right here was a test to this level. So this is like the second time here. So we could easily absorb this and come a little bit lower and pick up some more fresher demand down here with the dailies. Okay, now you might be saying to yourself, well, should I short gold right now to maybe get down here? Well, be careful with that too, because we might not even break this level. We could just base, okay, and shorting this market is going to be tough because the monthly, weekly, daily is such a macro bull. Does that make sense? Now, in the past couple of days, you can see we have a couple of topping tail here, bottoming tail here, so it's kind of rangy. So it is giving us a little bit of a sign here that it might want to pull back a little bit more here, just based on the prior couple of days here off the new highs. okay? But still gonna be a tough short just because you're gonna be grinding, swimming against the current, okay? So you have the ocean, right? There's a current on the ocean, and you could be the best swimmer in the world, but if you're swimming against that current, it's gonna be very tiresome, okay? And it's gonna be grind, okay? So just be careful with that, all right? Even if gold does swipe lower, there's gonna probably be some pickup right from new lows. All right, so gold, you might want to just be a bit more patient on it and wait for those quality levels of demand to engage bullish. Okay. Okay. So S&P futures, Nasdaq, gold, and oil. I'm going to transition a bit to stock and options, equities, starting with the VIX. Okay. VIX Volatility Index, VIX. I'm starting to introduce the Phantoms team to GEX, GEX. And then next, we're going to talk about VEX, VEX. So a lot of stuff to learn. All right, starting to put together some slides for y'all folks, by the way, if you guys are here. Because I love that topic. And so I'm super motivated for that. More on that. Yesterday's high, yesterday's low in VIX. Here and here. Right now, VIX is slightly down. So VIX down, market up. VIX up, market down. You can see VIX spike. Okay, right? So you can see with that market drop, okay, VIX spiked up. All right, we map this out on the higher time frames. All right, yep, good old VIX. You need VIX in your life. It helps a lot in your trading. All right, in fact, VIX has saved my butt in trading and investing so many times. Appreciate it so much. It's tattooed on my body. It's tattooed on my body. Places you don't want to know. All right, keeping it PG-13. Children are listening. Let's see. So we have VIX spike. Okay, calm down a bit there. Great. I'm gonna map out. Go straight to the point here. We also look at it from a higher time frame macro picture, but we also track this intraday as well. So therefore, I'm gonna map out the overnight high in VIX here. All right. The overnight low is here with that little spike down, what have you, based on news. And then I always kind of pin like the middle where it is right now, just so I can keep track of it. And then I have like an ellipse like up here, just to see, okay, if VIX, rallies for the day and stays high and goes up, okay, that's typically going to be more bearish for the market, okay? If VIX fades lower and comes down, that's going to be more bullish for the market, okay? So it's an inverse correlation, okay? To keep it very short and sweet and simple, there's more to it, okay? It's the 30-day implied volatility of SPX options. However, let's just keep it simple for right now. VIX up, market down. VIX down, market up. VIX sideways, neutral. Right now, VIX is slightly down 1.35%. That's not extreme, okay? So therefore, I'm not going to waste our time on anything there, okay? We got SPY quote right now. Now, yesterday was a little weird in SPY, not only price, but there was a little bit of a misprint. On the daily, it shows that the SPY, I'm hoping that they fix this soon. On daily, it showed that the SPY low was 554.75, but that wasn't really the case. In the daily time frame, you can see the wick, all right, but that's not really true because it really didn't get down there, right? So it's a misprint. They'll probably clean up that chart, I'm hoping, over the weekend or maybe today or tomorrow, okay? But the actual low in SPY, sometimes that happens, okay? But the actual low was about 557.97. Okay, give or take. I might be a penny or two off there. Okay, yesterday's high. So we have a pre-market quote 562. So we do have an outside gap right now. Okay, I do and would want y'all to pin this level right here, 555 and 554. There is a nice major what's called put wall, which is going to be used for demand. I was talking about that yesterday. Okay, and that's when I was talking about that futures, S&P futures 5580 level right there. That's that level in SPY. Okay, and right down in here. So that's a major put wall right here that's going to be used for some demand. Okay, if we get there, I'm not sure if we're going to get there today, tomorrow, but you might want to make a note of that. Okay, right now we have outside gap up on SPYs. Does not mean that we're going to continue to go up, but this outside gap, at least it's an outside gap. So we'll see how the price action pans out today, intraday. All right, let me just see. I got to take this off right now. I just want to get the strongest sector right now. Right now, tech pre-market is fairly stronger. Okay, so that's a sign of bullishness because tech is still the biggest, even though it's a little bit of a lagger right now, technology sector is still the most dominant, highest weighted sector in the S&Ps. Okay, so NASDAQ is straight tech, but this is the S&P sector breakdown. Okay, and tech's still 31%. All right, makes up a third of the S&P. Okay, so if tech is going to continue to be strong throughout the day, that's going to be a sign of bullishness because technology is the biggest weight, okay, based on the index weight, okay? So super important, okay, to track technology. All right, we live in a technology-based world, right? So QQQs, NASDAQ, okay? We actually are gapping up and clearing this level here, so that's interesting today. All right, yesterday's high in Qs here, yesterday's low in Qs here. All right, let me just put the, hold on a second here. I have a lot in my brain, so I talk fast. All right, and believe me, there's so much more that I do pre-market, and I can't even get it all in, sometimes even for the group and Phantoms. All right, it's a lot that I go through here. So we got outside gap on Qs so far. We'll see. Nice little gap up. I like how it's clearing this level. All right, but just be careful. All right, it could be a gap up and crap. So there's a couple of gaps that we look for. All right, this is an outside gap. So a bit of a vote of confidence for the bulls. Okay, we already covered gold a little bit here. All right, I am, by the way, looking for, if this market does drop, to sell puts, by the way. All right, sell, if you know options, okay, sell puts, sell puts, sell puts. I've been selling puts in GLD, but not enough. I should make a lot more money in, on the put sales for GLD. All right, but if we do drop on GLD, I'm going to be selling some more puts. TLT, I am long in my long-term portfolio. I locked in some bonds. All right, I told the group that a couple weeks ago, give or take. All right, I locked in some TLT bonds for that. Right now, bonds are slightly down in terms of price. So bond price down, yield up, seesaw effect. Okay, that blue line is kind of like the seesaw effect here. So right now, the only yields are up. Yield up means market down. So that's the bonds are giving us a little bit of a flash, like, okay, just be careful with this gap up. Okay, but you know, VIX is down, so you know, a little bit of mixed right there. Apple, there's more to it, but I don't have enough time to talk a little bit more. Talk about that. We talk about confluence. I'm sorry. Well, yeah, we talk about confluence and correlations during sessions. All right, Apple. Again, I'm just going through for you people that came in a little bit more later. All good. You know, I'm going to go through the Magnificent Seven, if you will. I know there's a lot of stocks out there. Okay, I know somebody's going to say, "Hey, can you type in Snow? What's Snow doing? Snow's down 10%, bad earnings." All right, the reason why I'm covering Apple, Amazon, Google, Tesla, Meta, Microsoft, NVIDIA, AMD, AVGO, all right, QCOM, etc., because these options I know are very liquid. They're very liquid. The bid-ask spread is fairly tight, right? So when you're trading options, that's a major part of options, okay? There's a lot of stocks like Eli Lilly that I love, right? That I own in my long-term account, okay? That I've just owned for years and years and years and years and years. Healthcare stock, Eli Lilly, all right? But day trading the options are fairly tricky because the spread could be $1.50, okay? So that's not ideal, all right? You're in a position, okay, if you hit market, you're immediately down, you know, $150 per contract. That's not ideal, okay? So therefore, I stick with the Magnificent Seven because I know spreads are going to be fairly tight. Moving on, Apple. Yesterday's high, yesterday's low. Bit of a doji day, all right? But Apple has been a monster, all right? Not one red day. Crazy, right? Off that Japan fiasco there. I can't. This was crazy right here. Just how clean Apple just dipped right down into a massive level of demand, and what was once all-time highs broke, retested. All right. It's, you know, technical analysis. If you know what you're doing, it's a beautiful thing if you get the right recipes, right? So while everybody was kind of getting scared, okay, turned into a beautiful buying opportunity, and Apple just went berserk right off this level. Okay, it actually made some really good intraday gains off this because not every stock was as smooth and easy as this Meta. But anyways, slight gap up right now, still inside gap, the pre-market quote. I think there was a big open interest order block. I have to get my facts straight, but I think it was at 2:30. So today's what, Thursday, right? So tomorrow's Friday expiration for the weeklies. It'd be interesting to see if Apple can attract to that 2:30 call wall up here. That would be pretty interesting. But put it right. But I got to make sure anytime that I speak, I want to speak facts. So I got to make sure that my facts are straight. So put an asterisk on that and go to the open interest if you know what you're looking for and see if there's going to be a call wall there. All right, maybe I could take a peek at it for you folks here, but I might forget. So just make sure that you see and verify that there's a call wall here at the 2:30 handle. All right, prices might want to attract to that. Okay. All right, doesn't mean it's going to happen today. All right, but you might want to verify that. Amazon. Did I take a trade yesterday in Amazon? I don't think I did. Yeah, we did. Oh yeah, Amazon actually was a good. Yesterday we took a nice little trade in Amazon. Actually, that was the one that was the most smoothest. Yesterday's high, yesterday's low. Great here. All right, and if I can move this a little bit closer. All right, yesterday's high, yesterday's low. Slight gap up. Amazon was is a bit jealous of all the other FANG stocks here. It's been a little bit of a lagger, all right? But as of a couple days, it's been kind of poking its head above. All right, intraday tape, we have this gap fill. All right, I put that pin in for the group yesterday, 184. There is an unfilled gap. Okay, we opened, we closed there, then we gap down massively. Okay, so you might want to look at this area here at the 184. Okay, in the event that this market does continue fading and grinding higher. Okay, if you are long Amazon, this would be an area where I would definitely want to TP some. Okay, take profit. TP means take profit. All right, take profit some intraday. All right, is it good for a short? It would be fairly decent. All right, but just be careful with that because if this gets some legs, okay, just because it gaps fill does not mean that it's going to come down. At least at a minimum, if I'm long, I'm going to take some profit here. I'll have to look at the weeklies to verify where the weekly supply is. And as you can see, weekly highs are up here. So that's just a daily gap fill. Weeklies, kind of like a little bit of a, here's a liquidity fish right here. All right, weeklies are more up here at the 190 handle. All right, but again, this is going to be a bit tough to short here. There's not really no structure. That's just weekly high tag for the beginning of August. Okay, so that's going to be 190. All right, typically if I'm going counter trend, I would want to have a minimum of weekly time frame orientation for that. Okay, Google, we took a little trade off Google yesterday. It was pretty decent. I'm actually holding some long calls for you Phantoms members. I had mentioned that yesterday in the group. We got 4 minutes before open, so I'm not going to go too much in detail here with that, but we had a little bit of a, Google was in a decent location. I liked it because I actually wanted it to come down to 150, 140 so I can actually load up more of my long-term portfolio, but I got a little, my expectations were too great because we couldn't even break yearly VWAP right here. This is yearly VWAP. So a lot of markets just came right back in yearly balanced for us. And I was hoping that that whole Japan thing brought markets even lower. Okay. And there was more to that Japan thing, by the way. It wasn't just the unwinding of the carry trade, by the way. There's a couple other things too as well. All right. Convexity and VIX, market making and things like that. All right. I actually talked a little bit about that on a special session about last week. Okay, I was talking to the group about what happens regarding that kind of stuff when there's a lot of fear on the market. I digress. So liquidity gets swept away. Okay, so liquidity is so important. That's why I love trading based off liquidity. All right, market maker style. I gotta stop myself here because that's one of my favorite topics, and I feel myself going down that rabbit hole. The point that I'm trying to make here today. Overnight high, overnight low. Google is an outside gap up. Nice. Okay, so I am holding those calls. All right, just a little structure here. Impulse, correction, impulse. We came back. All right, Google had a gap down yesterday, but I was telling the group, be extremely careful here. All right, because we have a little bit of a higher high, higher low structure. All right, we're above yearly VWAP. We're above weekly VWAP. We're back above monthly VWAP. Okay, yellow, orange, black is yearly. Okay, and then we gap down into what was a previous resistance. Okay, supply, high tag, new high, pull back in here. Right, just basic stuff. Okay, and then we have a gap outside here. So Google would be a bit more bullish because we have an outside gap here today. Okay, and as I mentioned, I am holding on to some calls that we have that I held for yesterday. Okay, Tesla, one of my faves to trade. Tesla is going to be pretty interesting today. I took a loss on Tuesday for YouTube. All right, and I had mentioned that this daily supply zone is the caveat of that long call, and I ended up taking a loss. Okay, what we do at Phantoms is we don't BS, right? So you see everything I do, you see. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and you see the loss. If I'm right, I'm right. You see the gain. Okay, so for the record, right on Tuesday, I took a loss on Tesla. All right, took a loss on Tesla. Okay, we're real traders, so we show you the losses and we discuss them and things like that, right? So you can't be a professional trader and not take losses. Okay, some of the best traders in the world are even wrong more than they're right. Okay, but they have positive expectancy. All right, but we talk a lot about that when we have time, not a minute before the market open. Tesla, be careful with the market. Be careful with Tesla today. It's kind of we are at this daily supply. All right, and overall, if I scale back a bit here, Tesla's kind of in the middle of this range. Okay, overall for the year. So it's a little tricky. And Tesla's one of my favorite stocks to trade. All right, but you know, Tesla does provide some really good opportunities intraday. But you know, sometimes it's great, and then sometimes, you know, it's a little weird. So today, just be a little cautious on it. Meta, fairly decent. I would not be surprised if Meta breaks all-time high over a couple of you know, if not today, or this week or next week. All right, just be a little careful with Meta. It could be kind of choppy sometimes. All right, Microsoft took a nice little trade yesterday, closed doji, no gap. All right, but Microsoft has been trying to hold some strength in here. The only problem with this one is we are at its fade view up here, so there's a little bit of some pressure. There's really nothing to stop this price up until, you know, some daily supply here. There's a gap fill up here. Let me see, Nvidia. Nice. Nvidia has actually a decent little gap here, outside gap. Nvidia, let's go, long call. I can already see that right off open. Outside gap. All right, Nvidia has outside gap clearing. Outside of mother bar. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the 130 is a call wall here. Yep, 93K. All right, so we're above that. All right, usually I'll wait for, you know, at least minimum like the 2 or the 5 minute bar to close here. All right, but I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here. Now, these are the trades that we had yesterday, Nvidia. All right, so try to ignore that. I don't want to delete that for the team there. All right, but if you pick up, say, the 131 strike, that's going for about $1.82. If you pick up the 130 strike, that's going for about 230. Okay, 230. $2.30. So if you pick, I'm gonna pick up right here live with y'all 129 strike. Okay, the 120. I'm sorry, the 131 strike, the 131 strike long call. They're going for about $1.70 right now. All right, so long call Nvidia right out the gate. I like the clearing gap on this. So Nvidia 131 strike call for tomorrow's expiration. Just a day trade here. All right, long call. Nvidia 131 strike. Just got filled at 185. Some of y'all might even got a better fill than myself, which is cool. All right, so I locked that up. I got filled at 185 for the 131 strike. I'll just put a pin in that right here so we can track that. All right, let me just check VIX internals. Really briefly, all right, very early for VIX. We're going to track VIX, of course. Too early for cumulative tick, cap up. Advanced declines, $sign ADD, kind of slightly up, but not aggressive at all. There's the zero mark. Extreme is positive and negative 2,000. So it's positive 380 right now. Nothing really extreme here. Vol D on New York Stock Exchange, volume up versus volume down ratio. Right here, this is the first print. Right now it's about a 1.3, which is not extreme at all. Nothing too extreme here. All right, so kind of quiet market here. All right, AVGO. Oh, AVGO had a nice gap up as well. I was noticing that this morning. It's one of my favorite stocks. I know some of y'all I missed AVGO yesterday, unfortunately. I know one of our members, Greeny, took this trade. So his swing, as a swing, he's printing right now. The challenge with this gap up is, the only thing I don't like about it is that we're coming into this massive supply right here. So unfortunately, that is going to be a major drawdown on that. Okay, so it kind of breaks my rules there. So we have a nice gap up, yes, albeit, but we are gapping up into that gap fill supply, and it has to do with weeklies as well in here as well. So that is, that is a major no. Okay, just for me personally. All right, so you gotta follow your rules there. All right, tell me the reasons why. Why I don't do that is because I got my ass smacked. Okay, doing that. Okay. So there might be better ones here that are not into daily supply or weekly supply, Microsoft being one of them. Okay, so Microsoft decent. I told y'all that it was going to be looking decent here. All right, wide range bar. We already have a positive COG. We're late on this. Microsoft here, long call. All right, if I pick up the 427 half strike, those are going for about $2.10. That bottom one right there. All right, long call on this. Microsoft. Tomorrow's expiration, just for a day trade here. All right, just put an order out, see what they fill me at. All right, just got filled at 219. Lock that up. I'll leave one floating here. Probably could have did a little bit better on that entry there. Walmart ripping. All right, I want to be careful with the bullish exposure. The NVIDIA trade. We see Tesla. Not giving much. So you can see we have a gap up, but some of the things are fading down here a bit. All right, be patient. A little bit late to Microsoft. Netflix made all-time highs yesterday. XOM is low, coming down. It's very rangy on the monthly. It's kind of upper range on monthlies, but we are at a weekly area. It's very choppy though on the weeklies. So XOM, I want to be a little careful with that. Be careful right out the gate here. Not a lot of. It's been the story of this week so far. Be patient, folks. Be patient. Lily, beautiful. Let's see, spies. Check Qs. And those Qs into that supply is still a concern here. We gapped up, cleared it, but right now we're below daily VWAP. So we gotta let this present itself a bit here. Walmart, it's hard to like make money on the options on Walmart because it's such a cheap stock, but Walmart's good. It's a discretionary right now. I'm sorry, it's a staple, and it's a consumer staple, and that's one of the strongest sectors right now happening. Let me see JP Morgan. What is JP Morgan now? JP Morgan's fairly decent. It got a nice little bottoming tail yesterday. We've yet to clear, this week's high, but JP Morgan fairly decent here. Off that open here. Check internals real quick. Be patient. This week has been a grind and making you work and testing your patience and diligence off the back of the prior week, which was just trendy market flying. So really, there's nothing really extreme right now to talk about on the internal side of things there. But JP Morgan, it's giving us a nice little potential setup. Long call. I like the bottoming tail on dailies here. All right, so JP Morgan fairly decent. You can see Microsoft and NVIDIA not really following through very thoroughly. Google pulling back. Let me take some profit on that Google. I gotta take some profit on Google from yesterday. It's actually a little bit of break even here, which is not great. Alright, I'm just handling something real quick right there. Google 175. Alright, let's take profit on that. Alright, Microsoft has VWAP test. Alright, wow. Be patient today, folks. There's really nothing jumping off the map here for me. Tesla. Show me something, Tesla. Alright, Tesla is off daily VWAP here. Wide range bar, that's getting immediately rejected right now. Tesla. Let's see. Put daily VWAP here. It's bouncing off its weekly VWAP. A bit of a doji put in yesterday. It would be great if we could break above that. So Tesla might be worth a shot here. It is setting up fairly decent. IWM, small caps, leading the way right now. Interesting. All right, Tesla's not the greatest in the world here. This opening bar is nasty here, but we're fading that right now. I might have to go with IWM just really quickly because IWM is doing some nice things here, fairly decent versus SPYs and Qs at the moment. So Russell, you can see tech is fading. You can see Microsoft fading pretty hard here. I did not break the low here, so just be a little bit patient on that. But I would like to see that reclaim VWAP back up. Let me snag JP Morgan quickly here. JP Morgan, positive COG. I'll pick up the 215 strike call here, 187 here, JP Morgan. Let's see. We have that news coming out too, right? At 2 minutes, 9:45 Eastern, right? All right, so you might want to be a bit patient on that. 185, I got filled on JP Morgan here. Microsoft complete fade. That's not great. It's not following through. Tesla really didn't prove much to me. I was looking at it a little bit there, but it's not really proving much to me here. So now we have gap up, fade down for the most part on a lot of things here. So we want to be a little bit patient on these. SPYs are just hanging on its VWAP. All right, we got news in about a minute, so we'll see. You might want to be patient. All right, right now Microsoft is down. Let me give you some exposure really quickly on this. Why is this thing just being weird? All right, so today's low so far is right here. Complete fade below VWAP on Microsoft. So news is coming out in about right now, give or take. So Microsoft might be a cut. There's the day's low. Usually I don't like to put my stop loss right below the day low so far. So I'll give this a little bit of room right here. So if this gets down to here, call it 423, 44, 45 handle. All right, this is where I'm gonna stop out. Okay. All right, so I'm giving that a little bit of space. Okay, so objectively, if this happens, I'm just gonna get stopped out, okay? All right, sometimes off the open, it would come, test opening days bar, okay, and then go. So first sign of, okay, we're okay, is if we can get back above VWAP, which is that white dash line right there. All right, if not, we're gonna just take a loss on that. Let's see, Lily, beautiful. NVIDIA testing its VWAP, we need that VWAP conquered again. Right now things are fading a little bit here. All right, SPYs are fading down a little bit here. Spiked a quick new high below VWAP. But these markets, this week, markets have been kind of swiping down, flushing out, and then rallying up. So be patient. Crowdsource, let's see. Ooh, this one actually has decent fall through. Yeah, this one has decent fall through. Actually, positive CRG close, slight outside gap. Nothing to stop it. Actually, crowdsource is decent. Tape's acting decent here. Nice little positive CRG. Over here. A little bit late to it. All right, let's see. We got VIX up a little bit. Check internals. All right, if you want to try to take a stab at some SPY puts, typically I'd want to see VIX up a bit more. Everything's fading right now. Apple's trying to hold bids. I'm gonna have to see if Apple can hold bids. Let me see crowdsource. The options quit on crowdsource. Let's find out. Microsoft holding on by a thread. I'll give you some JEX levels in a moment here. We're gonna need those today. Let me see crowdsource. These are actually fairly decent spread. There's a little bit of a wide spread here. A little bit of a wide spread here, but if you pick up the 280 strike, those are going for about 240. Long call on crowd. I want to be a little careful with the bullish exposure on this because SPYs is fading down just a little bit, but we've been flushing out all week. We'll see. Just be patient. But crowdsource, what, the 280 long call? All right. I want to be a little careful with this though. SPYs fading down more. I got filled at 236 on these, so I want to be. The spread is terrible on that. Microsoft at its VWAP. So we'll see NVIDIA poking its head back above daily VWAP. Tesla, choppy, basey, we'll see. IWM was a fake out. Apple's going to be important here. Apple's trying to hold bids above VWAP. But we're fading. If you want to try to take a quick scalp on SPYs, I think VIX is up, right? Or trying to grind its way up. Anybody snag some SPYs? VIX up just a little bit, not above the overnight high. I don't want to chase too much on SPYs. Usually have the call put matrix all planned out here. Let's see. SPYs are trading 561.80. So if I pick up the 560, these are going for about what, 66 cents. I want to keep it a little low delta because you know, this market's still a little bit tough to short, but we are fading right now. So if you pick up the SPY put right here, the 560 strike put, SPY put. All right, we'll see. Get filled on this account over here, probably for what, 60, 65, looks like. All right, but that's gonna be tough with Apple making a move up. So long call Apple, Meta, positive COG. All right, Apple. Man, these stocks are all over the place. All right. Apple clearing, Apple long call. Tomorrow's expiration here. This market is all over the place with stocks here. 227.5. Pick these up for 170, give or take, if you wanted to get long some Apple. All right, VIX is a little concerning right now. But we're not spiking too much. I have to watch out for Apple being a little bit of a trap up here, but market's odd right now. Let's see. All right, so we see Apple right here. Pick up the 227.5 for 168, give or take. All right, so just got filled on these at 169. Just realized like I'm already 10 minutes over time here. Meta all-time highs. Anybody snagging some Meta here? NVIDIA attempting to put in some bottoming tails here. So those SPY puts are not looking good if NVIDIA and Apple hold bids. Those SPY puts easy get out. So I got a little SPY put on, some SPY put, but all the other trades, for the most part, bullish. But the only ones that are really making some headway is Meta. JP Morgan looking good off daily VWAP. Microsoft looking decent. Again, let's see, NVIDIA. I wanted to add to NVIDIA here. I like these bottoming tails here, and we're trying to go. We're in positive CRG, but this close right here above this red bar. We'll see. It's just NVIDIA's not pumping as much. Usually NVIDIA pumps. Walmart, always going up. Anybody take Walmart if you own stock? Apple new high. All right, let me just check the semiconductor ETF, SMH. Semis are not pumping here this morning. SPY's back above VWAP. All right, Apple new high. Meta on fire. Microsoft never broke below 1 day, right? I'm gonna put my stop loss below there. It never happened. I gotta be patient. I would love to add to NVIDIA, but it's not really. Semiconductors right now are kind of lagging. The only thing that's really super exciting right now is, for the most part, Meta. Netflix is decent too. Meta and Netflix, those are the two stocks that could be a little annoying off open. All right, right now SPYs are on VWAP. So these puts might be a cut, which I wouldn't be mad at because I got more bullish exposure, say in like Apple, NVIDIA. All right, let me TP a little Apple here. In the event that SPYs can't reclaim VWAP, so I'm going to TP a little Apple here. Still going to be patient on the others. All right, so I just sold some off there at 190. All right, but however, everything else for the most part, we're gonna be patient. This was a story all week for the most part here. Why can I never type in Apple correct? It's so annoying. You can see SPYs, SPX are in doji right now, so man, it's been the story this week, all week. Let's see. Man, these markets have been, Meta's doing work. We just cannot, You could just not get any fall through. Just because it's not going up doesn't mean you want to short either. That's the challenge with this week. Because we've been ending higher, right? So it's one of the things. Now Meta is kind of breaking out a little bit here because we have this major range. So Meta just made all-time highs. So Meta's breakout here. So Meta's one of the better ones here this morning. I missed that one. Semiconductors having a challenge here. Let me check some GACs on. Whew. It's a little minus Meta. It's a little tricky. Just no follow through. It's like the market's kind of tired up here. It's like it's tired, right? But it's just a slow grind up. So even if you short, right? Like I'm short SPYs, and I'm long most things, or right? But you know, both of them are not working, right? So SPYs not going lower, and markets are kind of fade, right? So it's just one of those things. Conditions. Now we just had this come out at 10. So this is GEX. So yeah, markets are pretty heavy up here. 56.50. There's a major GEX call GEX here. So markets are heavy up here. So be careful with the bullish exposure. Right now, there's major gamma 56, and then as it stands right now, major gamma at 56.65. So it's kind of getting heavy here at, there's only more GEX coming in here at the 56.50 on SPX. So that tells me that this market's pretty heavy above. And that's what, you know, we don't trade our feelings. I don't trade my feelings at Phantoms, but that's what I'm kind of feeling that too, just through my experience of many, many years. All right, so that's not going to be a good look for the bullish exposure here, say on like Apple and NVIDIA. That's why it's challenging to, I didn't want to add to NVIDIA. So actually these bullish exposures might be a cut here, okay? That's something I would have to have a little bit more time to discuss about. This is something called a, you have to understand how market making works and what they have to do, understanding what they have to do to hedge their delta neutral. So unfortunately, especially when I'm over time already, 15 minutes, I'm getting literally alerts on my phone. It's probably not the right time to go through because I'd have to explain in more detail. Folks, be careful trading today. Be careful trading today. Okay. Hold your cards tight. All right, because a lot of things like these are gapping up, but some of them are fading down. All right, you got FANG all over the place. You got some FANG stocks up, some FANG stocks down. You got semiconductors, you know, not strong but not weak. It's just kind of like a wait market kind of. Now this week is definitely a digestion week of massive drop down for the first week of August, and then the past 2 weeks fading higher, and it's just kind of like calming down. Walmart on fire. Just balancing itself out. Right, because this market's tough to short, right? It's tough to short too. That's the challenge of this week, right? It's like, okay, it's not screaming raging bull up, right? But if we were to short, those puts are not cranking either. So it's kind of try to get the strongest stocks within the strongest sectors. And right now that's like, you know, consumer staples, a little bit of financials, but just no fall through. So all good. Now, what we typically would do if if this market continues to just not really give us a lot of movement up or down for directional plays, we could sell some options, sell some SPX credits and things like that. But that's something that I would typically do a little bit later. And then also I don't want to open up that can of worms on YouTube when I can't sit here and manage it with you, and you have to be very careful with credit spread trading. All right. Right now, there's really no hand here. So a part of being a professional trader is, sometimes knowing when not to do something, when not to do something, when the market's a little bit more clear. All right. So long Apple, those are going fairly decent. Missed Meta. Microsoft still holding on here. Nvidia is still trying to hold on here, but this might be a cut. This might have to be a cut loss here. I just have to eat that. All right, 185 to 118-ish. 115, so down to 60 cents. Nothing too crazy. All right, still holding on some SPYs. Just have a negative COG here. All right, VIX turned green on day. Vol D down. All right, so I'm gonna cut Nvidia here for the record. All right, cut Nvidia. Still have those SPY puts. I'm just gonna cut it. It's a small loss right now. All right, so I'll be wrong here on Nvidia. All right. 185 to fill me at 112. Okay. Just no fall through. All right, stopped out there. Geez, Tesla's a mess. Microsoft playing games, just rangy. JP Morgan, same. Oh, what a mess. SPYs. All right, SPYs, depending on your fill. Trying to chug there. All right, so if we can get this gap fill here on SPYs, I would suggest to TP some of those puts. Take profit. All right. VIX on highs. All right, Apple, reduce some exposure on that. Microsoft might be a cut fairly soon. So it's just not working out here for the bullish side. All right, I would suggest to TP some SPYs here on those puts as we're coming down into this gap fill. Whoa. What you would want to do right now. All right, TP some SPYs here. All right, even this little account here. I got some SPY puts that I'm just using as a hedge, but these I bought at 70, they're going for 86. If we TP these ones, I got some Friday hedges on here. So these are fairly decent. All right, so 70.91, TP some off SPY puts. All right. Take some profit in my other account here, the bigger account here. And TPing some. Basically like 80, 88, 80, 90 in this account, whatever, it doesn't matter. The bigger account is more important, but just taking profit on some SPY puts here. All right, so we get a gap fill. So if Microsoft, well, so Microsoft might be a stop loss fairly soon. Nvidia already out. JP Morgan, it's nothing's following through. So got some SPY puts. Crowdsource as well might be a trap. So everything's kind of trapping to the bullish side here, okay, folks? So yeah, I might want to just cut crowdsource too. The bullish exposure is just not working out right now. All right, so I got some SPY puts. Let me see. Video was a tough one to sell short into. Video. Let's see if I get an objective level of stop out on crowdsource here. And the VIX is giving us flash signs here up. So I'm going to cut bullish exposure here, okay? All right, those SPY calls are going for $1.05. Let me take some more profit on those. And you might want to cut some bullish exposure here, okay? SPYs are printing. All right. So that bullish exposure, we got to cut. VIX rally. All right. Crowdsource took a little bit of a banger. Anybody still in this one? I'm not sure. All right. Made a new low on day. We'll be lucky if we get a rebalance here on VWAP. All right, so I'm going to cut crowdsource here. And I'm kind of just going to rebalance here. All right, crowdsource out, got 104 fill out on crowdsource. So, let's see. I usually hate to stop out right at the gap fill. But today is definitely a day where I am going to sell the shit out of some SPX credit. All right, in options, gamma exposure and GEX is letting me know that this market is super heavy up here. Here's the updated one here. So luckily we get some SPY puts, but with not enough to cover the crowd, Nvidia. So just getting started here, 10:45. Usually I'll trade with the whole group. So this is the updated version. So you can see some good major gamma coming in at 5,600. I would want to be below. We also have to take a peek, 5,500. Pretty interesting. That's fairly far out there, but this is getting some exposure here. So that's a sign that we could have a little bit of a markdown here today. We actually do have some negative GEX here coming in here. So yeah, so this is pretty heavy here, folks. This is pretty heavy here. This is pretty heavy here. All right. Is that Angela? Raindrop? Is that you? I almost feel it like I owe it to you. I take this very serious. I almost feel like I owe it to you because I took a couple of L's today this morning, which is very rare for me. You know, maybe I have an L here and there, but crowd, NVIDIA, and somebody put this ticker up, but I take full responsibility for that, right? But I almost feel like I owe it to y'all. But I don't even know how to put that together. Gold's pulling back. Curious to see where gold is. Nice. Gold's interesting. So gold might be getting into that 25, sub 25 handle here. All right, first 30-minute bar here. We'll walk down here. Let's delete this from yesterday. So spies. Let's see. Yeah, I would not be surprised. I'm still kind of holding on to Microsoft and NVIDIA for right now, just because it really hasn't broken any structure yet. Data is going to become an issue in over a couple of hours, but those are Friday expirations too. So, but I don't like to, you know, you want to cut losers. I cut NVIDIA. But all this did is just fill the gap. So I just pulled a, this was a nice flush here. So the puts printed on spies. So I just pulled a low on day on, so far it could get lower of course, but we'll see fade VWAP if you know the deal with that. All right, let's start an emergency room for Phantoms, yeah? Y'all want to do that? Let's see if we can navigate this. All right, hold on. Let me get the link. Let me get the link here. I'm not going to post it, obviously, on YouTube because that's. Let's see here. I guess I'll just post it in the chat. I guess Phantom's chat. So I can go a little bit more in detail and go over SPX and some GEX and all that. Outside gap down on GLD. All right, let me do that real quick. Let me do that. It takes about a minute, maybe 10:45. I want to refresh my coffee real quick, kind of reset. So crowd loss. All right, make this room here. All right, we'll start 10:45 just to give you maybe when I end this one here, we can go jump in, give you maybe 15 minutes, give or take, to jump into the other room there. Just gonna name this chop room. Do the choppiness that we've been having. Good. Everybody have members, phantoms. VIX on highs. SPY put potential add here. Cut Microsoft. Cut. All right, nothing too crazy here. $1 loss here, $1.10, 80 cents here. Nothing a little SPX can't handle. Microsoft cut. Let me get this room created, and then let me see. So I guess the thing I could do is I could take the link and then go into the chat. So I'll post it in the communications there. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to get an email out to everybody, but just because it's kind of like a room that we're just creating like right now off the cuff. So if you want to get the link, go to the WhatsApp chat. And if you don't have that because you don't have WhatsApp, that's okay. Email me at tailoredtrader. I'll write that on the chart here. Email me. I'll send you a quick email with the link. Okay. Tailored trader, like getting tailored at the tailor, like your suit. Everything I have is like tailored. At Gmail. I dress very nice, but I can't spell good. At gmail.com. All right, you better be a Phantoms member. All right. I mean, yeah, you could do something like that. All right, tailored, right? That's how you spell tailored, right? Tailored trader. Okay, cool. All right, and then the others, I will just put that in chat as well. All right, it's creating the link right now, and so I'm gonna go right now, and we'll have a couple minutes, and then I'm gonna get some coffee, refresh. All right, couple losses here, $1 here, 80 cents there, give or take. All right, and then let's go. All right, usually I don't even do this, but let's do this. All right, y'all know how I am, Mr. Blue. Let's continue. All right, we'll take a 10-minute, 15-minute hiatus, and we'll come back. Yeah. All right, this link is created, so good to go. And so I'm gonna publish this. I'll put that in chat. If you're not in the chat, email me there, and then we'll take it from there. Cool. All right, folks. All right. Take a little break. We'll reintervene 25 minutes. I put the start time for 10:45 a.m. Eastern time. 10:45 a.m. Eastern time. All right, so you got 20 minutes. All right, to go do handle your affairs, and we'll be in the actual official trade room, kind of an emergency meeting here. It's not really an emergency, but extra little room here on the side. Cool. All right, folks. I'll see some of y'all in here. If not, if you're not a Phantoms member, and this is of interest to you, okay. And you know what? I'm actually happy. You know, that you see a little bit of a small loss here, real authentic. Okay. And as you can see, I care very much. So therefore, I'm gonna create a room and we're gonna work out some stuff with SPX and things like that regarding that. So TradePhantoms.com. If that is of interest of you, you're not gonna be able to, you know, get in the room today, but this would be a start. Okay, to join the potential team if you see fit. Click that register button there, first name, email, so you can get the link sent to you for a separate room. Today, this evening, Thursday, the 22nd, which is today, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Mr. Green, Mr. Black, one of those great traders, are going to be hosting a 90-minute, you know, class, just showing y'all what Phantoms is all about. And then also, you're going to learn some stuff in there too, how markets work from a professional standpoint, all markets, okay, stocks, futures, forex, options, multi-directional trading. All right, so if this market's going to continue with its sideways grind, okay, we're going to transition to selling SPX credits, just to give you an example, okay? If you're just starting out, really new, trading for small incomes, side income, small accounts, all the way to if you're looking for wealth management, retirement, wealth protection, okay? Kind of a one-stop shop, all for everything, day trading, swing trading, long-term trading, investments, all right, stocks, futures, forex, options, even crypto these days as well. Cool. All right, folks, I'll see some of y'all in the other room. All right, and if you want to be part of the team, that would be your starting point. Today would be the evening Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. where you can get started on that. Fair enough? All right, and if not, that's cool too. All right, folks, I'll see some of y'all Phantoms in a little bit for a little side room, and y'all know the drill. Y'all know the deal. So I'll see y'all soon. Blue out.